The following roster and modding were provided by a willing individual. All remarks are meant for enjoyment and educational purposes.
Welcome back to the class, everyone. We have another mod shaming video coming your way. As a reminder, this series is where we go in and look at real rosters that are voluntarily given up, take apart a team, look at its modding, and see what can be done better. So today we are going to be shaming the 501st. The 501st is an amazing team. It has really held water as it has come out several years ago. It's still one of the best counters out there. It's kind of like whatever Galactic Legends are at, it's one phase directly below that. So it is important that we get the modding right so they can actually be able to counter Galactic Legends in those few categories that they are doing that in. So without further ado, we're going to start off, and actually, let's start off on a mod shaming high point. I've already gone through and looked at these and kind of thought about what we're going to go over. And that is going to be Echo. Now, this right here was just an easy win. Dude, your Echo isn't fully modded. That is modding 101. These slots need to be filled. That being said, there actually is some other useful information other than, you know, just slap on a mod that we can go over with Echo here. So Echo, you have, first and foremost, you have to recognize his place in the 501st. What I mean by that is, you can mod him as an attacker or damage dealer with either, say, crit damage or offense or crit chance or something like that. But what I believe is the best thing to do with Echo, if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck with this team, is actually to mod him for potency. The reason why is because he has this really nice EMP grenade where he can go in and he can stun all droid enemies for one turn. You might be thinking like, all right, how many like droid enemies am I going to come across? It's actually in his two best counters, both offensively as well as defensively. So I guess one in both ways. This can help stop CLS if CLS is not modded with enough tenacity, because what you're going to do, you're going to stun 3PO and Nubaka at the same time and just slow down the whole team. And what's great about that is Nubaka has a cleanse, but it can't use it if he's stunned, different than, say, Daze. So that's definitely one of the big pulling reasons there. The other reason would be the strongest team that Gas has any chance at beating, and it's not that solid of a counter, but you can get it to work, is Gas versus Rey. In that fight, typically Rey has a few droids accompanying her, either JTR or Archer or something to the fact, and being able to stun those droids as well is also very nice. So that is really how we need to view Echo. He's not really the damage dealer. The 501st team has already significant amounts of damage, both from Gas having the stack and crit damage. Really, the whole team has that, as well as Ark's turret and Rex's Annihilate. So, again, don't really need a mono for offense. This could be a lot better. Don't even need a mono for crit damage. I would suggest full-on potency, and the reason why, his potency kind of sucks. He has like no base potency. It's like 25% or something like that. So full potency sets and a potency cross really honestly is the way to go. Speed isn't the largest consideration for him. I guess you want a decent amount so that he takes a turn and can actually throw the grenade, but 100 total is probably fine between a speed arrow and then maybe plus 15s on the side, depending on what your roster is capable of. If it's not capable of getting plus 15s, plus 10s are honestly fine depending on where you're at. So very high note there, starting with Echo. And now we are going to sing praises. There will be no mod shaming on Gas. He is quite arguably perfect for what you need him for. So as you can see, he already has offense and defense sets. That's really about as good as Gas gets. I do love the offense sets. We talked about this earlier with Echo. Gas is really going to be one of your main sources of damage on this team. Dude does a whole lot. He has stacking, I believe it's crit damage throughout the battle every single time. Oh, no, sorry. It's stacking offense. They just have flat crit damage when they're percent crit damage when they come in. So he's going to have offense that's going to be charged up through the entire battle. Not to mention, he just does so much damage right at the bat and also has armor shred and has guaranteed crits under certain circumstances. So that is very good. The reason why I like defense so much on him, the defense set, is because he's already gaining a certain amount of defense by having a bunch of 501st allies in the team. At least I believe he is. I can't remember if that's in his unique. Yeah, it is in his unique. He gets 25% defense for every 501st ally. So you're really getting to just really tank a lot. Not to mention you are literally tanking, so a defense set is always nice in that regard. I love 4 protection primaries. This is absolutely beautiful. Gas doesn't need to be the fastest character in the world. Plus 15s are honestly fine on him as well. I think this 100 speed is fine. Gas is not really the one that needs to go first in the 501st team to actually change how things function. So this right here, everything about this is honestly great. The only thing that I could really say that needs to be changed is if you're using this specifically against Malgus on offense, I would just advise a crit chance set over defense set. The reason why Malgus's big hit as well as Malik's big hit don't really care about defense. They both ignore it. Malix is based off of his max health, or off yours, and Malgus is based off of his. And you really want to crit Malgus. Malgus does have crit avoidance, but if you can crit him, you can keep him from using that big hit even in the first place. And Gas's crit chance, it's mostly through his kit, like over here, but you really do need a little bit more to be able to close that margin, again, against a team that specifically has crit avoidance. So Gas is perfect for all intended uses. Going to a little bit more of a mid-range character, let's go ahead and talk about Fives. Fives is modded perfectly if you use them on defense. There's two primary ways to mod Fives, and I did do a little snooping. The player that we are currently shaming, at least last 5v5, used Gas on offense all 3 times. So this modding is wrong. When we go ahead and look in this, what is happening here? Most of Fives modding is going to revolve off of the fact of his unique of tactical awareness. What is technical awareness? If Fives is defeated, or rather, if one of the other clone allies is defeated by the first clone allies, Fives will be defeated that way, and he will transfer his max health, max protection, speed, and offense stats to the other 3 501st clones, which is Arc, Rex, and Echo. This is really defines how you want to mod him in almost every way. What this means is, if you use this character on offense, you can almost always count on the AI being really stupid and going and killing Rex first and triggering that sacrifice. If that is the case, you really want to mod Fives. The protection primaries are fine, which is what he does have. And honestly, that's probably just a good idea anyways, just so Fives doesn't accidentally die because someone ends up targeting him. Protection primaries are fine, but the defense sets are essentially thrown in the garbage if you're just banking on the sacrifice happening every single time because you only use this as an offensive team. So what you want to do here is either, actually very awkwardly enough, speed or an offense set to really transfer as many stats as possible. And you look at this is where we get into shaming. Actually 69, so kind of nice. But really you want, again, if you're using this team offensively, you kind of want Fives to be a little bit fast because all that speed he's being able to transfer to the rest of the team. I would even wager this protection primary here, as much as I love protection primaries, probably should be speed. Because 24% of his protection to 3 clone allies are 30 speed. I'd probably take the 30 speed. So Fives is modded very well defensively. I guess we should also cover that and, you know, give a little praise in that sense. If you're using this team on defense, you want the defense primaries, or the defense sets, as well as the protection primers. Don't really care for speed at all, because if your opponent really has any idea what they're doing, they know they have to kill Fives first, and you want to make that as difficult as possible. So completely correct mind for defense, but if you're using this character on offense, which you are, then he needs to be modded differently. Get him speed, get him offense, get him something that's going to get him going in that way. Up on Rex. Rex is pretty much exactly the way he needs to be. Even the kind of nitpicky stuff, don't really have anything to say about it. The whole thing about Rex is you want to make sure he's at least 300 speed, because that'll prevent an enemy Darth Revan from even being able to go before him, assuming it is a non-Malgus team. If it is a Malgus team, you have bigger problems. But overall, 300 speed is fine. 314, I guess, is overkill, but, you know, just leave it, let it be. Potency here is kind of cool. Doesn't necessarily need to be. It can also be survivability. The bonus for potency is that he can reduce the enemy's turn meter this way. That's kind of cool. And honestly, Rex health and protection pools, they're not good, so I'm not gonna die on the hill of saying this needs to be health or protection. That being said, these two are health, and I think that probably is better because his health pool seems a little bit better than his protection pool. Speed air, which is right. Again, this is by all purposes correct. Very good on Rex, very similar to Gas in that respect. Arc Trooper. Arc Trooper could be a little bit better, and the reason why I hesitate to say he could be better is because he kind of gets away with really crappy mods for the most part. A lot of what you're banking on for Arc's damage, and really even speed, is for Fives to sacrifice, and then Arc to get all these huge boosts. So the one thing you are doing right here is offense primary here, and speed here, that's okay. Offense would be ideal, but really, to get the most bang for your buck, this needs to be like a 20 speed, or at least a 15 speed mod to have offense arrow up here. Really, I mean, the real shame here is the fact that you have 3 offense mods, and none of them are 6E. So you're missing out on really a whole entire other offense primary by missing out on those 3% or 2.5 or whatever is on all of them. One thing I do want to commend, and everyone should take note of this, we talked about this before, but putting a broken set on a character to be able to get good secondaries. So he has a speed and a crit damage here. We don't want to shame that. Really want to applaud that, because what is he doing? Instead of putting on kind of a useless health set or a useless, I don't know, potency set that literally changes nothing, he's gone and he's found 2 random mods that both have really high % offense on them. Actually, are they the exact same amounts? No, they're not. 168, 188. I was gonna say, I'm like, that never happens. But very good on that overall. Get them at the 60, and I will complain a little bit. Oh, 69, nice again. Is that why Echo is missing a mod? We'll double check that. He could be faster. In fact, he probably should be faster. He does not need to be that slow. The one little bit of saving grace in the fact that he's that slow is the blaster turret goes on himself and another ally, and if you put it on, say, 5s or Rex who are taking significantly more turns, either via speed or turn meter, then he's still serving a good purpose even if he's not taking all of those turns. So definitely could be faster. The offense is correct. I do want to check Echo to see what Echo speed is at. Was this like a little present for us to figure out? Oh, close, not quite. So maybe just a coincidence there. But all right, guys, that is going to be it. So kind of summarizing, Gas modded super well. 5s, if you're going to keep using them offensively, dump the defense sets. I love them, but they're really specifically made for defense if you're wanting to get nitpicky. Rex is great. Echo, you need to view him as support, not an attacker. Get him a lot of potency. And then Arc really just needs his mods to either be 6-seed or they need to be traded out for +10s or +15s. But that is going to be it for today. Again, if you are seeing this video now and you want a team of viewer to be shamed, you want it to be reviewed, you want us to go over the mods, tell you what you need, what you don't need, go ahead and join the Discord below. In there, there'll be a section with instructions on how you can get your team and your modding shamed. But until next time, guys, stay awesome.